Hello, my name is Cole Smith, and I'm doing the current event summary number 6. The question is, what impact do federal hours of service rules have on truck drivers' lives and ability to make a living? So the first point we're going to go over is rest and safety. HOS rules enforce mandatory rest breaks. So if it makes sure that the drivers are always aware and reacting to their full potential on the road, because obviously fatigue would very much affect a truck driver, because he's driving a however many ton death machine across the road all day. So I want that guy to be at his tip-top shape. However, many drivers feel that the rules don't account for real-world conditions like traffic jams, weather, or just like waiting times in general when they get to their destination. So the rest isn't always taken when it's needed. Two, we can talk about work-life balance. The rules can give drivers more predictable rest periods, but they also force rigid schedules. So if like a truck driver needed some extra money, he couldn't work what would be our equivalent of overtime because he's having a required amount that he's having to sleep. So and if he's on the road away from his family, required rest stops would obviously make it a longer point in time before he can get back to his family. So number 3, we'll talk about stress and pressure. Drivers always feel like if you give someone a time limit or like a cutoff time, they'll always feel pressured to get the assignment done before that said time. So if you give drivers a mandatory sleeping time, then they feel like they have to beat the clock, sort of. So they would start to be more inclined to start speeding, which could obviously lead to more accidents. And also, if you're sleeping, you're not driving, so you're not making progress towards the goal that you need to achieve, which means that you're going to take longer to get there, which means not only does your reputation go down, but it'll lead to less pay eventually. And then fourth, we'll talk about earnings and limitations. Excuse me. Most long-haul drivers are paid by the mile, so if you limit the amount of miles they can drive, you limit the amount of money that they can put in their pocket. Reduced flexibility. They can't always adjust their schedules, so they, say they are going through a town, and then like I discussed earlier, there's a traffic jam. That's 2 hours that they don't get to move very far, and that's just 2 hours that they lose because either way they're gonna have to stop at a certain point. So that's just 2 hours that's gone. And then productivity trade-offs. Carriers and shippers may see decreased efficiency since you can have fewer hours on the road, so you can have less time on the road, which means your drivers are less efficient just by default because you can't be efficient on the road if you're not on the road. It's kind of an important prerequisite right there. And then last, we'll talk about job security. If you're forced to rest, then somebody who can drive faster or has a better route or just like doesn't experience a traffic jam that you did is automatically going to be seen as more productive or more efficient. So your job may be put at risk just because you're forced to sleep a certain amount of time. So you can't be on the road as much. So in summary, it's a good thought. I feel like we should keep it there just so drivers are good and rested, even though I understand the problems. But I'm not a trucker, so my opinion on this issue doesn't really hit home. But that's current events summary number 6. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day.